Everyone, thanks for joining us this morning. Really excited to have Sandeep, the co-founder of Matic Network, joining us on the Chainlink YouTube today. A little bit about how this will go. We'll allow the community to ask a few questions. We have a few pre-written questions already. If you have want to learn more about the Matic and Chainlink integration, explore a little bit what makes this integration unique and beneficial to both teams, learn a lot about the developer community of the Matic network, as well as what you guys are working on within DeFi and blockchain gaming. For the first 20, 30 minutes, will be a Q&A chat structure asked to myself. And then again, if you have questions, feel free to drop them into the YouTube chat. So without further ado, Sandeep, again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe just give a quick introduction about yourself and about Matic Network and what you guys are building?
Sure. So, so basically, I come from a computer science background. So, all three co-founders of Matic, we all three are techies, and we, were very early in the Indian kind of blockchain ecosystem. And then, if you see the Indian ecosystem, everybody is like looking to build, real world applications which can actually get more usage, right? So contrary to a lot of revolutionary kind of ideas on the west side of the globe. So so basically we three were already experimenting on real world applications, and scalability back in 2017 was a very big issue. And our my fellow co-founder Jayanti, fondly called JD, he was a part of Plasma, research group, which was started by Vitalik and Joseph Poon and all that. So he was building on those implementations. And then we realized that, the way that the Plasma was being built, like the way we see the Omise Go kind of this thing where you can only do payments with duty exos and all that, that's not going to, get a lot of adoption. And as I said that, our focus from day zero has been adoption, that to build a platform which will be actually used by this, right? So there are, you might you might already be seeing a lot of platforms which might have very complicated zero knowledge, kind of approaches, but then they are unusable for an end user and the developer. So what we wanted to build is something secure, decentralized, but is also developer friendly and user friendly. And that is where we all started. So we, kind of initiated the project, wherein on the Matic side chains, which is a layer 2, protocol. Layer 2 means on top of Ethereum, we have another, kind of blockchain, which is a public blockchain, multiple applications, just like Ethereum, multiple applications can deploy on top of it. There is composability for DeFi kind of applications. And then as the network grows, multiple side chains can be created. And these side chains later on can be also thought of shards, right? So if you compare it with ETH 2.0, many people actually compare it with ETH 2.0. I think Cosmos co-founder Zaki had also mentioned that this could be easily, built into a ETH 2.0, because what is happening is that we have Ethereum layer 1, and then on top of it you can have multiple side chains, right? So Ethereum becomes our beacon chain kind of stuff, right? So it's almost like that kind of architecture. So the scalability on this side chain is very, very high. And we recently tested with 110 validators, which is a very big number in terms of validators. I mean, Cosmos has 100 plus validators and all that. So with 110 validators, we were able to reach around 7.2k TPS, 7,200 transactions per second, which is a very good scalability kind of on a single blockchain, which is composable and all that for gaming and multiple other use cases. And the block times are also 2 seconds. So the user experience, as I said, that adoption has been our core focus. So if you see the user experience also, if you use a Matic based application, you're simply clicking, and then people are using meta transactions in the background because the transaction fees is so low. So for a user, it's like a click experience, like Web 2 experience, but you are still on blockchain. You have full ownership of this thing. And that has that is leading us into a large amount of adoption, large number of games. As you guys are already, also knowing, many games are reaching out to you because they want Chainlink oracles, the VRF. I was talking about the verifiable random number on the, Matic sidechain. So many games are reaching out. Similarly, DeFi protocols are building on the, because DeFi, we all know that Ethereum gas fees are like exorbitantly high. So, people are doing DeFi protocols. So yeah, I mean, things like that. So, from my whole background, like, I initially started from my intros, right? So, the whole journey has been that I wanted to always build a scalable startup. And then, ironically, I'm building a startup which is focused on scalability, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's a brief background about me and Matic.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, I think the first time we met was in Denver this last year, and I'm just amazed, when talking with developers, everyone just gets blown away with what you're saying, how easy it is to integrate with Matic and build on top of it, and just the flat out speed of your platform is impressive. So I know that there's a lot of people building DeFi projects on Matic. What is Matic's approach to DeFi, and what are some of your favorite projects that you've seen built on Matic?
So one of the biggest benefits of Matic is that it's fully EVM compatible. And then, the Matic sidechains are composable also, right? So basically the key, the value driver of DeFi is composability. Like, you can take some compound tokens, lend in compound, get CUSDT, take that USDT and put it into something else, or provide the liquidity on some balancer protocol or things like that, right? So Matic sidechain has both the capabilities. It's a EVM based chain, and then it has composability, and it's much faster, right? So many DeFi protocols right now, the approach that I'm seeing is many DeFi protocols are simply forking the, kind of already great work done in the open source by, let's say, Compound or Balancer or whatever, forking those protocols and building, using them as a base on the sidechain. And because it's more scalable, and the gas fees is very low, and then they're trying to build more kind of scalable use cases. For example, a team which is working on, let's say, Compound like protocol, right? So they also want to add micro lending, which will be very important for the parts of the word on the in India, Asia, Southeast Asia, and all that. It's like the old banking the unbanked kind of narrative, but then now it is actually possible. Like, we thought of those things with BTC and Ether, but those gas fees and those kind of things were just not feasible. But now, with almost negligible gas fees that you have, right, and large amount of transactions and throughput can be done, so you can actually go after the volumes which can do the lower amount of, let's say, smaller amount loans, smaller amount peer-to-peer lending, but then the volumes can be really high over there. So people are trying to do those kind of utilities. And DEXs, for example, all of these AMMs and all that, like, imagine you had a Uniswap on Matic sidechain, right, which works exactly like Uniswap. All the the smart contract security, which has been built and iterated over multiple times by the Uniswap developers on the main chain. If you have that kind of Uniswap available on the side chain, which actually works much faster, you can actually see a kind of very high and good user experience DEXs on the side chain. And recently I was even going through the Bankless podcast, like you might have heard, like from Ryan Sean Adams, like one of the best podcasts or content sources in DeFi space. And then there Joey Kruk from Pantera was there, and he was actually, so Ryan was asking him that what do you feel is the next good DeFi application which will come to you and you will like it. So he said that I would like to see a DEX kind of application built on a sidechain like Matic Network, which can offer like almost like a centralized exchange kind of experience, but is decentralized. You have your own custody, and the user experience is superlative. So these are the things we are looking in the DeFi space.
Awesome. Yeah. It's really exciting to see just the growing developer community around Matic Network. So how do you plan on integrating with Chainlink, and how do decentralized oracles fit into the Matic platform for developers?
Correct. So as I said that, it's a EVM chain, and you have all the capabilities like the composability and everything. So the DeFi protocols and games and, multiple applications are building, and then all of them need external data to be coming into it. So for some example, like, as I told about, let's say a project exploding Compound like lending protocol on Matic, right? So that will require, price feeds, so of course. And then the people's, like, the first choice is of course Chainlink Oracle over there. We have like other oracles also service, oracle teams providing over there, but because of in DeFi predominantly, Chainlink has been doing really great work, and it's very reliable oracle for most of these teams. Gaming, as I already said, that gaming teams need random numbers, because in gaming you have to do a lot of scenarios where random numbers are used. So the initial kind of demand for Chainlink was coming from that domain only, where many games wanted to have a verifiable random number. So that is also being provided by Chainlink. And then I mean, there are multiple such scenarios, like storage related startups that are doing, who want to see or want to check whether an externally uploaded file was actually uploaded somewhere or not, and want to see it via Oracle and things like that. So various, like, Oracle has universal use cases. So I mean, all of them are applicable. As they are applicable on Ethereum, they are applicable exactly like that on Matic sidechain. So it's like a entire Ethereum ecosystem at a much faster level. Just building on top of Ethereum and on layer 2 would be available for that. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, you talked a little bit about Chainlink VRF, and I know a lot of developers really look to Matic first, especially when they're building blockchain gaming. What are some of your favorite projects that you've seen that are building blockchain games on Matic Network? And kind of same question as before with DeFi, what is Matic's approach with blockchain gaming?
So the approach wise on the gaming side of things, so there are a lot of games which are there, which are building NFT based games, and all that stuff. So like in the blockchain games, the primary thing is that you want to have the ownership of the in-game assets to the users, which is kind of the new paradigm in the gaming, and it's slowly coming up. Then play to earn kind of scenarios like Axie Infinity, amazing friends of ours. So although they are doing a separate chain of their own, but then they have actually proven that how a successful business model can be built on top of it. So we have games like Neon District, very highly anticipated games in the blockchain space. They also recently said that they'll be migrating to Matic. Decentralized, one of the biggest players in the virtual reality space, they are also kind of will be building on like they're already doing a lot of stuff. And then in Decentraland itself, people are building games, right? So like somebody's building a chess game, or somebody's building like different kind of stuff. So they're also many times the oracle or random number requirements are there within those games. So so in terms of the gaming side of thing, virtual reality is one important part. Then play to earn is a growing concept that is coming over there. And who knows, like after this DeFi, there might be a wave of these governance tokens for gaming, right? So and then then that kind of can make Matic as one of the main platforms over there, which end up getting a lot of traction in terms of the gaming app. We are already seeing few games looking to do that stuff. Then NFT marketplaces is also one key important area that we are seeing. And a lot of marketplaces are currently exploring Matic for having their market NFTs over there. So for example, very awesome platforms like Super Rare, Rarible, OpenSea, of course, the king of NFT marketplaces and all that. So many people mint their assets over there. So Terra Virtua is an upcoming marketplace who have connections with Hollywood studios and all that. So they have like kind of created NFTs of these legendary movies, right? So people can buy those NFTs. So on Ethereum, it's like right now it's very, very difficult to mint those assets, right? So so these people want to build and mint like millions and millions of these NFTs and actually go into the mass mainstream, right? Which is absolutely not possible with Ethereum. But with something like Matic, where you can mint, let's say, 100,000 NFT. Like for example, we submitted our Reddit scaling challenge project, right? So in the Reddit scaling challenge, we did like 3 million transactions in around 10 to 12 hours. And this is when we did not optimize the load, because on the EVM side of chains, you have nonce, right? So we only used 2 addresses and did these transactions between them. If we had used, let's say, 100,000 addresses where the nonce can be upgraded in parallel, we could have done those 3 million transactions in maybe less than 5 to 6 minutes, right? So people can mint, the games can mint millions and millions of NFTs and distribute it to to their players and then buyers and actually go mainstream. And that is our long-term objective, that, some of these games eventually break out and, become like large mainstream games, which can bring in the real adoption into blockchain. So that's like roughly our, approach on the gaming side.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I see a lot of questions in the chat, and the speed's super impressive, and being able to build on this is. Do you see this kind of going to like being able to integrate like blockchain into like Fortnite skins and Call of Duty Modern Warfare and some of these mainstream games? Do you see some of these being able to be built on top of Matic and going into the future?
Yeah, that would be the end goal, right? That would be the end goal, that, if some of these bigger studios are interested and, are able to build, and some of our games itself are like getting interest from the various kind of studios, and eventually they get adopted as, kind of their, kind of projects. So Somnium Space is also one leading VR space which will be using Matic. Sandbox also has, which is now going on to Launchpad. They have also, publicly declared their intent of exploration of Matic. So whenever they, get into the scalability needs. So I think some of these games like Sandbox has a Atari connections and all that. So, some of these games will eventually end up breaking out into the mainstream. And that's when, the scalability of like kind of a side chain or mechanism, which is as secure as Ethereum because it's a layer 2. So this provides you the Ethereum kind of security for assets using Plasma architecture, and then, even like the EVM kind of smart contract interface. So the hope is that some of these eventually break out into the mass adoption. Yeah.
Awesome. Is Matic working with ETH 2.0 and kind of helping kind of form that future vision and how that kind of be affected once ETH 2.0
So
comes?
one or two of our developers have been like closely involved with the foundation, but I'm not sure that they are like ex-developers. For example, Webhub, he has been very closely working with the foundation, but not like nobody from our team is working with the core ETH 2.0 team. But of course, since our the kind of side chain is built using a Bohr node, which is actually a built on top of Geth nodes, which is the popular Ethereum node. So we keep finding, like, if we find any issues, we could contributing to the Geth community. Similarly for Cosmos, so our validator layer is built on top of Cosmos SDK. So we also keep contributing to the Cosmos one, but nobody is directly involved in the ETH 2.0 building right now.
Yeah. What else is on like on a technical side of things on your product roadmap, and what's your next milestones?
Correct. So for us, I think the next approach is that we want to involve zero knowledge proofs also on the sidechain, because at the end of the day, it's a layer 2 execution. So it's an off-chain execution and it's going on to Ethereum. So to add more and more security and provability on the Ethereum main chain for, like, if possible, for generic smart contracts and all that. So that is our next big part. Plus we also are exploring various different kind of layer 2 approaches like optimistic rollups and all that, and eventually we want to be like the kind of the main layer where you can use any layer 2 approach you wanted to, because there were layer 2 approaches 1 year, like 2 years back. Then more came in, and they keep on coming. Like I think that they will keep on coming, right, the new layer 2 approaches. And I think it's very important to build a kind of developer friendly layer or developer friendly kind of ecosystem or platform like Matic, wherein developers can pick and choose which approach they actually want to use.
Awesome. Yeah. So speaking of developers, I know that you guys started the Build and Earn program, and you got an built-in accelerator. Do you want to maybe talk about some of your developer initiatives that you are working on?
Yeah. So on developer initiatives, we are a very developer focused team, as you already know, right? So we do a lot of hackathons. Probably we are the biggest hackathon doing company, like in the like a blockchain project in the world, because last year itself we did around 80 hackathons. With like we do the bigger ones with Gitcoin and ETH Global also, but we also do grassroots level, like college level hackathons. So, we at times we do too much of it. Our community is like, why are you doing so many hackathons and so many announcements of hackathons and all that? So hackathons is one area where we go into that. Then the second, so basically it's a sequential approach. So you get the early brains on the hackathon side of things, right? Then we have a developer support program wherein we kind of help the early developers to build their MVPs and things like that. Now once they have built some MVP, like even now in the blockchain space, the funding is still very scarce for the dApps and games and these applications. For applications, funding is low. So what we did is that we built a $50,000 a month kind of pool, wherein if you are building an application, you can register your application over there, and then you can get some small monthly rewards, so that you are able to survive your journey, because early journey is like, it's the most important thing. Once you keep iterating on your product, and then you reach a particular stage, then you might get funding and go into the next great growth stage. So hackathons, then developer support program, then build and earn. After build and earn, we have accelerator programs, right, wherein we do like larger kind of help them to get investments, and at times we also do investments in some of the projects, small scale investments. And then beyond that is like the actual investor connects and all that, which we also help with for all our projects, to help them to connect to the investors and all that. And if they are able to convert some of those, they go unlock the next stages of growth. So overall, not only providing a platform, but overall providing a kind of a whole channel to the developers to end up becoming successful application builders on blockchain. That's our like whole core objective. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. It's growing fast. I mean, I could tell there's over 100 people on this stream live right now, and it's early over here in the States, and you guys got a huge community that you're building, and it's really exciting to see. If I'm just starting as like a blockchain developer, what's kind of your elevator pitch? I know that we have a lot of information in this AMA here. Why should I build with Matic?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is the developer experience, which is like everybody talks about UX. We talk about the developer experience, because if you have all the tools, if it's easy for you to build, you will be able to build it faster, iterate faster, and build a good user experience also. So the developer experience is superlative on Matic, because if you are, like we always say, that if you are an Ethereum developer, which is like by and large, like 90-95% of blockchain developers are Ethereum developers. So you don't even need to learn a single new thing to be a Matic developer, right? So all your wallets, your Web3, your tools, everything works out of the box. If you are, building, if you already have a dApp on or game on Ethereum, some of the times, some of the teams have been able to deploy their entire stuff on the Matic sidechain in a span of 15 minutes. It is that easy, right? So, developer experience is the key thing. And once you come over there, of course, you have the scalability, which is like, a high amount of throughput. The gas fees right now is 10,000 times less than Ethereum. Like, as I told you that we did 3 million transactions in $3 to $4. So one is that the transaction cost is low, right? The other thing is that if this is so low, you can actually pay it for your clients, right? We pay it for your users, and your user experience can be, so most of the applications are using meta transactions on Matic. And what would it cost them? Like, maybe $50 a month, $100 a month. That's like buying a server on AWS, right? And then your user experience goes like 10x better from the previous thing. And then your users still have the full ownership of the asset. Like previously, if you had to build a user experience like that, you had to go into a centralized kind of approach where people are depositing NFT into you, and then they are playing, and then they are withdrawing. But here you can have the full on-chain experience with a very low or zero cost for the users. Also, the users don't have to go, like if right now I have to interact with the dApp, I have to go onto an exchange, buy some ETH, bring it into my MetaMask, and then I can interact with the application. With the meta transactions kind of service, you can simply kind of use the meta transactions, and you do not need to worry about getting any kind of gas tokens on top of it. And even the other approach is that because the gas fees are so low, like one of the teams, Blockchain Cuties, for example, when they launched, they simply airdropped 0.1 Matic, which can enable them to do maybe 100 to 1,000 transactions, somewhere around that, 100 to 500 transactions at a minimum. So they simply airdrop 0.1 Matic to every one of them, like 5,000 members, 500 Matic, like hardly $10, right? So this, they just airdropped, and then now their players are able to play it very easily. So user experience, developer experience, that's the kind of elevator pitch from my side why you build on Matic.
Yeah, very, very exciting. So we were talking a little bit about before, so your team is primarily based in India. What is the blockchain and just cryptocurrency landscape like currently in India, and where do you see it going?
Yeah. So I think the Indian Federal Bank, understands the risks associated with the cryptocurrencies, right? Especially for the retail, because in cryptocurrency space, like, we were discussing that a lot of scams are there, and they want to protect the retail community, which is actually the right approach. And so I feel that their approach is going slow on this, trying to understand what other people are doing, what the other countries are doing, and then slowly learn from it, and then have a more holistic approach. But till now their approach has been like, overall the approach has been to scare away the people as much as they can, so that, very less and less people and who fully understand what they are getting into, only they come into the space. So I think right now it's a kind of a, gray area kind of approach, where the the federal bank introduced a kind of a ban, like not ban, it was like simply that bank accounts were not supported for crypto exchanges, which kind of stopped the on-ramping into the exchanges like fiat on-ramp. But then our Supreme Court, because India is a free country and, like a democratic country that way, and, you can't go ahead, and even the government can't go and ban things like that. So Supreme Court basically overruled that decision. And now again, the exchanges are full blown back in. But I feel that in the middle term, there will be some sort of regulation, which will, create some mechanisms as to how and, in what ways you should, interact with the crypto ecosystem, and which would be beneficial for the longer run. So I think a proper regulatory stance is something that should be there. In terms of the community, I would say the retail community for the crypto is like pretty big in India already. Like, most of the exchanges understand this, and many exchanges are now trying to re-enter. Binance, as usual, has been was able to take a leadership stance over there by acquiring a local exchange, which is the, like, right now, like the biggest exchange in India. But the developer community in the crypto space is like really big, and some of these gray area regulations actually deters some entrepreneurs to, start crypto kind of ventures. But I think that overall, since the number of developers in India is so big, like, it's actually more than the population of some countries, right? So even if you stop like a large number of this thing, whatever, with this regulation and all, but even then you have a large number of developers, and, many of them are really great developers. Like initially when we raised the funds and we were, building up the protocol team, we were thinking that we might end up hiring, most of the people from outside. But to our surprise, once we started interviewing people, we found so great people. And, recently, like some of them, and, Matic team has, I would say, from India, one of the topmost brains in blockchain, protocol level blockchain projects are, do come to Matic, and the hackathons that we do, that creates a lot of brand pull. And then, many of these are smart people. So of course they end up like, some of them end up doing something of their own. So recently two, three of our, employees have went ahead, and, one of them has started a project called DeFi Dollar, which has like quite a bit of traction. Similarly, one of the other employees now doing, ex-employee from Matic is doing Unilend. So that is also a DeFi protocol. So many of them, keep venturing out, and, more keep coming. So yeah, I mean, overall India, the developer ecosystem is pretty big. And, we expect it to be a powerhouse in the blockchain, which it should be. Like, it's a software powerhouse, right? In terms of the talent, I think it should be the same in the blockchain industry. There's no reason why it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought up. It's really impressive, just the developer talent and everything, that the initiatives that people in India and your government are providing. I'm glad you brought up DeFi Dollar, because they were a hackathon team out of Matic Network, and they integrated Chainlink into it. And
Yeah.
there's a few different teams that came out of Matic Network and started integrating Chainlink. And I just love the initiative of allowing your developers to go out and build things.
Yeah. And I hope that you'll keep seeing that, right? There'll be more and more teams in the ecosystem from Matic team, from this thing, like, in doing a lot of stuff in the DeFi space. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that we're coming up to the end of time. Is there anything else that maybe we left out that you want to tell the audience or that you want to talk about?
I mean, yeah, I mean, so these two things I feel are the like the most important thing is the like the like you know, I mean, in terms of like what's coming for Matic, as I told you that we're exploring more layer 2 approaches. Plus, there are more like DeFi projects, as we already spoke, coming onto Matic, and the gaming, like as you also said in the beginning, that Matic is kind of becoming the de facto gaming platform. So a lot of game developers, and if in the audience there are game developers, you should reach out to us, or any DeFi protocol developers, you should reach out to us at the rate Matic Network is our Telegram channel, and my name Sandeep Nailwal at the rate Sandeep Nailwal without anything. You can ping me on Telegram or Twitter, hit me up, and then we can have a discussion regarding whatever you guys are building. That would be my closing comments.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll make sure to drop those links into the description for everyone so that you guys can be able to reach out. Is that the best way to find your team and follow Matic's progress is just through Telegram, Discord?
Just go to our Telegram, or at the rate Matic Network is our Twitter also. So anyway, you can follow us, and then DM me directly, and I can loop in the relevant team members.
Awesome. Well, Sandeep, thank you a lot for joining. This is a lot of fun, and it's really exciting to see the progress of Matic Network.
Yep. Thank you, Keenan and Chainlink team, for having us here. It was a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure working with you guys, and everyone in the audience. Thanks a lot for joining. Really want to thank all the team members on the Matic side that helped put this together and get this big audience that we had. And make sure to subscribe.
I also want to give you guys a shout out. Like, you guys are one of the most supportive teams, for the ecosystem members. And, we, when we, planning for this AMA, you guys helped us on multiple different things also, right? We even spoke to Adlin, Rory, everybody is so cool. So, I just want to, give, kind of my word of kudos to you guys, that you guys are doing a great job at building the overall ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. We appreciate all the work that you do. For everyone else, yeah, make sure to subscribe for whenever we go live or post videos in the future. We have a lot of new developer tutorials coming out as well. We're also hosting the Smart Contract Summit on August 28th and 29th. So I'll put that link below, and make sure to register for your complimentary ticket. And yeah, again, very grateful to have you, and thanks a lot, Sandeep.
Thank you so much, Keenan. Thank you.
Thanks.